Do you want more control over your life? More freedom? More confidence? Do you want to set your own rules and steer your own ship? Are you sick and tired of the 9-to-5 grind that's eating away at you and robbing you of all your time, barely getting you by? How about a new way? A new side hustle, side income you can use now to do things like pay off debt, buy a new car, wipe away credit card bills and student loans, remodel your home, take exotic vacations, fancier dates, buy your friends a round of drinks, send a nice gift to your family. How about an emergency fund or even a down payment for a house? And so much more. Welcome to the Flipping Ninja Podcast, where we teach you how to take charge of your life and make your own money flipping things on your spare time. Sound complicated? We'll cover it all, from what to buy, where to look, marketing and selling tactics that create demand, and bring you top dollar, research, pricing, creating ads that sell like crazy, and even powerful principles on the inner game of success. So if the idea of being your own boss is exciting, you're in the right place. Now, here's your host, the world's leading authority on flipping, AJ, from theflippingninja.com, unplugged and unleashed.
Hey guys, it's AJ. Today's podcast is going to cover timeless lessons on flipping. Okay, we're going to talk about the traits that make up a successful flipping ninja, right? A successful person who can really make a lot of money in this buying and reselling business. Okay, so obviously we all know what flipping is. So flipping is simply when you buy or acquire an item for a low price. It could be something from a thrift store, from Craigslist, from eBay, from a garage sale. It could be something you picked up during someone's moving sale. It could be something you have sitting at home, right? It's when you have something, you acquire it for free or for a low price, and you turn around and you sell it for a profit. Now, before you sell it for a higher profit and make money, a lot of times what we do is we clean it up a little bit, or refurbish the item, or we reposition the item, or we package the item up. Like, let's say, for example, you are flipping a smartphone. Instead of just flipping a smartphone, let's say you bought a smartphone for $20 and you're going to sell it for $100. Instead of just doing that, go buy a, charger for $5. Go get a case or a cover for the phone, protection cover for $10, right? So you're packaging things up. Go get a headphone set, right? So you in an example like that, you're adding things to the mix, which allow you to sell the item at a higher price. So now that you created like a package deal, so to speak, a complete set, the perceived value has increased by a lot. Okay, so doing simple things like that could easily allow you to sell that same phone, that same smartphone that you're going to sell for $100. You could probably sell it now for, $150 or $200 or even more, right? Depending on how you package it, obviously. So yeah, flipping is simply you buy something low, and you turn around and you sell it for a higher profit, and you make money that way, right? So in theory, it's you understand what flipping is in theory, right? I mean, you can get your head around the concept of flipping, right? But what are the timeless lessons, the wisdom, the traits, and the things that make up a successful flipper? The difference between a flipper who is making a little money and a flipper who's making a serious amount of money. I mean, a lot of times, people get into this and they learn how to do it the right way. They learn the correct process, and they're making serious money. I mean, they're making enough money to cover a full-time job, and they're working part-time hours. That's pretty cool, right? So what are some of the traits that will make you successful? What are the traits that make you a flipping ninja? Okay, so the first one we're going to cover is the first two commandments that I promote and I teach to all of my students, everyone I show the process to. These are the first two commandments before we even get started into the what to buy, where to go, how to sell things, how to focus on what items to focus on. how much money you can make. Before we focus on any of that, I want to instill these 2 commandments into your mind, into your brain. Okay, the first one is everything sells. Okay, that means everything sells. I don't care what the item is. I don't care how ugly, how ugly of a chair it is, or I don't care what it is. Everything sells. Okay, no matter what. You have to always remember that. Always keep that in mind, and remind yourself everything sells. Okay, because it does. We're not saying how much it's going to sell for. It could sell for $20. It could sell for $200. It could even sell for $2,000. We're not talking about how much it's going to sell for. That's not the point right now. But the principle is that you have to just know, moving forward from now on, your mindset, you should know that everything sells, right? Keep reminding yourself that, okay? Knowing that commandment, internalizing that commandment will make you so much more money, okay? By knowing that commandment alone and just kind of having that understanding will multiply your profits. The second commandment is have the balls to buy. That's right. Have the balls to buy. You have to have the guts to buy. You have to have the confidence to buy. That means when you see stuff that you can potentially make a profit on, or even if you're kind of iffy about it, but you have that gut feeling that you're probably gonna make a profit on it, but you're not 100% sure. You're like maybe 90% or 80% or even 70% sure. You have to have the balls to buy. So that's the second commandment, okay? If you're not willing to buy, if you're not willing to invest, how are you going to ever make money? Because ultimately we make our money when we buy low, or when we acquire something at a good deal, or even for free, right? That's when the moment we make our money. But how are you going to ever make any money? How are you going to ever become successful if you're not willing to invest in a product or an item? Just like I always think about, like, for example, college or getting educated on something. If someone's not willing to invest the time, energy, and money into themselves, they will never get the payoff. They will never get the benefit. You have to have the balls to buy, right? Just like millions of people every single year after high school, they go and they invest in college, right? If everyone was scared to learn, or if everyone was scared to make the decision to invest, then what would the world look like? What would everybody's success look like, right? It's like you have to have the balls to buy. You can't live in fear. You have to have the ability and exercise your muscle of being able to spend freely, okay? Have the balls to buy. You have to have the confidence to buy something. So when you're at the store, when you're at a pawn shop and you see that watch that is like super low priced, and you're like, okay, the pawn shop is asking $79 for it, and these are selling online for $299. They're selling for $300 online. The pawn shop is selling it for, $80, right? They're selling for like $300 online. You literally have no reason to not make the decision and have the confidence to buy, have the balls to buy, right? You have to have the guts to make the decision. Now, this commandment is so important that it's the difference between you making, maybe $5,000 in a year flipping and making $100,000 in sales flipping. That's right, $100,000. Can you imagine making a 6-figure income from flipping? I mean, it sounds crazy, but so many people do it. I've done it before, right? Or forget about a 6-figure income. 6-figure may seem a little unrealistic or too far off for you if you're just starting out, or if you're still kind of getting familiar with it. What about even a half of that? What about 50? What about, let's say you totally were like, you know what, I'm just starting out. Even if I can make a fraction of that, even if I could make 10% of $100,000 in a year flipping, that's $10,000. I'd be happy, right? I mean, what's $10,000 per year? That's like $835 a month. flipping. What would you do with an extra $835 per month flipping? I mean, that's like a freaking 1-bedroom apartment, right? So I say all that to say this. These 2 commandments, if you can internalize them, it's going to change everything. Even if you don't know how to flip anything, even if you don't know what to do, what to buy, where to go, how to buy things, how to sell things, where to sell things, know these 2 commandments. Commandment number 1, everything sells, okay? Everything will always pay off. Again, we're not talking about how much it's going to pay off, or we're not talking about how it is, but everything sells. You never lose, okay? You never lose, because even if you do lose, there's a silver lining in every loss, which is you accumulate experience and wisdom, and you learn that, okay, now in the future, I know not to do this, or I know that this could have been done this way, right? So everything sells. That's the first commandment. You have to get that down. The second commandment, have the balls to buy. You have to have the balls, the confidence, the guts, whatever you want to call it, to pull the trigger. If you're not pulling the trigger, you're not going to make any shots, right? I mean, just think about that Michael Jordan quote where it's like, somebody asked Michael Jordan, the greatest basketball player in history, how he was like so good, how he became such a champion, right? And he said something along the lines of, it's not that I'm any better than anyone else. It's not that I'm like more skilled. I just took more shots, right? Or it's like the Babe Ruth quote. The reason Babe Ruth was one of the greatest baseball players in history, the reason he hit the most home runs isn't because he wasn't the best batter. It's not because he was the greatest, most talented, gifted, skilled baseball player and athlete. I mean, yeah, I'm sure he had skill. Obviously, you have to have some skill. But the reason he was the best, the reason he broke records, is because he took way more shots than everybody else. Okay, if you're taking 100 swings, a few of those swings are going to be home runs, right? But if you take 1,000 swings, how many home runs are you going to have? Yeah, of course you're going to have more losses than other people probably, but you're going to have so many more home runs and wins that it's all going to be worth it. Okay, so that's part of these 2 commandments that you have to internalize, and this is what differentiates someone who makes a lot of money flipping and is really successful quickly, and the person who is very slow and they're not making much, and it's a long, frustrating, cold, alone road, right? The person who doesn't understand these things. So it's just more of a mindset thing, okay? You have to get this mindset part correct so that you can be as successful as possible. So the 2 commandments you have to internalize. Everything sells. Always remember that. Everything sells. Everything sells. Everything sells. Commandment number 2, have the balls to buy. Have the guts to buy. You have to have the balls to buy. You have to have the confidence to make the decisions and buy. Okay, have the guts to buy. Don't hesitate. Don't let fear hold you back from the money that you deserve. Right? Have the confidence. You deserve it. You have to take the hits. If you're not willing to take the swings, take the shots, how are you going to ever make a ton of money flipping? Right? At the end of the day, this is a numbers game. That's all it is. It's a numbers game. Right? We want to sell in high enough quantities that are profitable. So if our flips are profitable, how do we make more? How do we make more profits? We increase the quantity, right? So those are the 2 commandments that make someone a champion in flipping. Okay, those are the 2 commandments, the 2 qualities that get somebody, the 2 secrets that make somebody very successful in this business. So if you can internalize those 2 things, you're already ahead of the game by so much. You're ahead of the game by so much. Okay, so have the balls to buy. Well, that's the second one. The first one, everything sells. Have the balls to buy. You have to be ready to invest. Okay, if you can't invest, you're not going to get a payoff. And quick story on this too. So these 2 commandments may seem pretty, it's like you might be like, okay, AJ, I got it. No worries. I can get that. No problem. But the time these two commandments truly pay off is once you start getting into bigger buys and bigger flips. Okay, so if you come across something that is $2,000 or $1,500, but you know that it sells for $3,000, you might feel, that's when you're going to start to feel resistance. That's when you're going to start getting those doubts and fears and worries. The resistance is going to creep up on you like this dark energy, these whispers. It's going to be like, don't do it. What if you lose that $1,500? What if you lose that? What if you don't sell it? $1,500 is a lot of money you're going to be out, right? That's when you truly have to be observant of these two commandments and stay strong and keep going, okay? There's been days, now it took me a while to get to this point, and if I did it sooner, maybe I would have made more money flipping, but there's been days where I would spend $1,500 in a single day, $2,000 in a single day, easily, and I wouldn't even think about it. I wouldn't even blink. I would do it like it was nothing. And it's not like I'm like some rich dude who can just blow money like that, $1,500 or $2,000, and just throw it around. It's more the fact that I knew, I had absolute certainty that I was going to make way more money and be able to sell the items for way more. So if there's, like, for example, one day I was at a pawn shop. I went to a couple thrift stores, including a pawn shop, and I spent $1,500 that day. I didn't even think about it. I was just like, all right, no problem. Let's do this. Let's move on. Because I knew that the profit, I was going to make like $2,800 or $2,900 in profits that same day because of that, right? So that's the level you want to get to, where one, you're not afraid, because it stems from fear at the end of the day. It stems from fear of loss. You think you're going to lose the money, right? You'll never lose, okay? Yeah, you'll lose money sometimes. Obviously, you can lose. I'm not saying you'll never. I'm not saying everything you buy you'll make money on, but what I'm saying is really internalize the mindset of winning, of playing offense, of moving forward. Because even if you don't make money on an item, you've got something more valuable. You've got that experience. You've got those numbers. You got that momentum going so that you keep getting better and better and better, where one day you wake up and everything you touch will turn to gold. I mean, it sounds crazy, but you will have this Midas touch where you're so experienced that it doesn't really matter where you go, what you buy. You're so good that everything you touch turns into gold. Okay, everything you buy, you make money on. And that's the level I want you to be at. That's the level I want you to get to. So that's why I need you to internalize these two commandments. Okay, these are two of the traits of a successful flipping ninja. Everything sells, have the balls to buy. So the next trait that makes up a successful and profitable buyer and reseller and flipping ninja is speed. Okay, speed and swiftness. When opportunity strikes, if you're not fast enough to jump on it, you will miss out on it. That means just think about it this way. It's not that there's a lack of opportunity or a lack of money out there and around you. It's that there are dollar signs all around you, literally all around you. There are dollar signs everywhere, okay? Which is a good thing, right? But on the other hand, if you don't have speed, if you're not fast, I don't care if there's hundreds and thousands of dollars around you of opportunity. If you're not fast, if you can't jump on them quickly, then you won't get them. You won't make the money. You won't get the deal. So you have to be fast. You have to learn. You have to develop this ability and skill set to act quickly, to really make decisions quickly, right? To make buying decisions quickly, to be able to quickly determine the price on something, to be able to quickly see how much something is worth, to be able to quickly make that decision of, am I going to make money on this, or is it not really worth my time, right? Because if you're not moving fast on deals, somebody else is going to jump on them, and you're not going to get them, and you're not going to make the profit, and you're not going to make money, and that's going to affect everything. That's going to affect The whole purpose of you being in this flipping business is to make money, isn't it? And have control and freedom. But if you're not fast, if you don't know how to act quickly and jump on deals, then unfortunately you won't be that successful. Just to give you an example, I'm going to give you kind of more of an extreme example. It's funny to me. To me, it's not extreme because I've been doing this for a while, and it's become second nature to just operate this way, which you will get to eventually, hopefully. I'll give you an example. So one time I was looking to flip a car, right? I was looking to flip a vehicle. So a lot of times what I do is I search for vehicles and cars in nearby bigger cities. Like, for example, Chicago. Chicago is a super hot spot for cars. They've got a massive selection of quality cars. Not just quality, but I'm talking nice cars. Like, I'm talking like super banging, just, the kind of cars that you notice. You're at a stoplight or you're driving and it drives past you. You won't just look over and notice a nice car. You'll like actually notice the car. Like, damn, that was a sweet car, right? So they've got, in my experience, they have some of the coolest. They have a high quantity and the quality is really good. And the prices, because there's such an abundance of them, the prices are really. So I'll give you an example. When I was one day, I randomly jumped on Craigslist and I was looking at cars in Chicago. Now this is probably at like maybe 2 p.m. or 3 p.m. in the afternoon, right? So while I was looking at the Craigslist ads for cars, I see this black Mercedes SUV. I've owned 3 or 4 Mercedes cars in my whole life. One of them, so the one I saw was on Craigslist in Chicago. Now this was a super slick, all black Mercedes SUV, super clean, black tinted windows, black, fully clean, no rust, zero dents, zero everything. It was perfect. Not only that, the mileage was low. I think the mileage was like 96,000 miles, right? So at the time, this was a few years ago, at the time, I ended up seeing it and I'm like, okay, Chicago is like a 6-hour drive for me, right? So it's just me. If I drive there, obviously I'm not going to drive there, spend 6 hours driving there. I could take a friend to, drive there with me, but it's not going to really be worth my time. It's not going to be worth my time. So what I did was, the deal was so good. I think the guy was asking like $4,000 for it. So before I even knew how I was going to get the car, I called the guy and I'm like, or actually I texted him. I'm like, hey, I want to buy your Mercedes. I'm interested in buying it. I'm a serious buyer. I want to buy it. So we had, a couple back and forths. Now keep in mind, I didn't tell him I was 6 hours away. I didn't tell him I didn't even live in this state, right? But one of my mantras that I always follow is commit first, figure out the rest later, right? So commit first, always commit first, then figure out the details later. The details, the how you're going to do something, the path that you take, none of that matters, okay? What matters is first making a decision, okay? Commit first, figure out the rest later. So I committed. I'm like, hey, I'm interested in buying your car. Is it still available? And he's like, yes, it is. I got another guy who's interested as well. And I'm like, well, I'm going to buy it. I'm going to buy your car. I'm interested in buying it. I have cash and I'd like to come buy it. So he's like, well, someone else is interested in buying it and he wants to come get it tomorrow. So, I mean, if you can't, when he told me that someone else was going to buy it tomorrow, I was like, well, guess what? I want to buy it tonight. Okay. Like I said, it was like 2 p.m. afternoon and I didn't even live in this. I wasn't even there. I was 6 hours away. And I'm like, well, I'm going to buy it tonight. Would you sell it to me if I came and bought it tonight? Cash in hand. And he's like, well, yeah. I mean, if you want to come get it tonight, I'd be willing to sell it to you. So then I'm like, cool, let me get in touch with you in a little bit and we will go from there. So I hung up the phone and I'm like, well, shit, I'm going to Chicago now. So first thing I did was I literally went to look at flights. And like I said, it sounds crazy. It sounds extreme, but when I was doing it, I was like so interested in this deal and I'm like, none of that matters, right? It's like this, it's all about speed.
It's all about, doing it, whatever it takes, right? So I literally booked a flight. I booked a one-way flight for I think it was like $60 or something, or $70 to Chicago. Okay. So I literally, I look at flights right away. I think it was like Delta. I look up flights and I'm like, I'm going to go get this car tonight. Okay. And it's so interesting. It's like I woke up that morning, and I never would have thought that I'd be catching a freaking one-way ticket to Chicago, buying a Mercedes, and driving it back 6 hours to where I live. So long story short is I quickly jump on and I booked the flight. I booked the ticket. I'm like, okay, what's available for right now? And literally there was a flight that was, the next ticket, there was one that was going to depart in like an hour and a half, or I think it was like an hour and a half or in 2 hours or something really, it was something that was like pretty much like super soon. And I literally booked the flight. I don't even take anything. Normally you fly somewhere, you take all your stuff, you pack. And it was such a weird, liberating feeling, just literally going with, whatever you're wearing, your wallet, your cash. That's literally all I went with. So I catch a flight to Chicago. I land, and I think the flight was like an hour and a half or something, or 2 hours. I land, I catch an Uber to meet the guy where the Mercedes is. I buy the Mercedes, we test drive it, I buy it, and I literally drive it home. Now, here's the thing. I'll be straightforward with you. I didn't just go for the car, okay? Part of it was just the whole exhilarating feeling of, going out on your own, traveling, a freaking plane ride. I mean, that whole thing was super fun. Just like the whole airport experience, like flying on a plane, it was like a mini adventure, right? The whole thing was like an adventure. Right. And it's like all of that. And like I said, it wasn't like it was some crazy flight expense. It was like $70. It was like $60, $70 to catch this ticket. So it's like I flew there. I pick up this Mercedes to buy and flip, and I drive it back. It was super fun and awesome. And then basically what happened from there was I ended up, coming back, and I had the deal. Now, the point of this story, the moral is that speed will get you deals. Speed will make you more money. Speed will get you really far in life. Speed of decision making. And I'm not talking just about speed when it comes to, jumping on deals. I'm talking speed in any part of your life. I mean, if you can act fast, if you can make quick decisions and do more, that's going to benefit every part of your life, right? Like if you're spending forever, making decisions, and it's easier said than done. Okay, it's easier said than done, and I understand that. But if you can be fast, if you can act quickly, how much more are you going to be able to get done? How much more are you going to be able to do? How much more opportunity are you going to be able to jump on? If you can act fast, if you can move on things quickly. I mean, like I said, this applies to anything, not just flipping. Imagine if you were looking for, let's say you were looking for a job, right? How fast can you apply for jobs? Let's say your goal was to get a job. If you're applying for 1 or 2 or 3 jobs a day, yeah, you'll probably end up getting one eventually. But it's like, what if you were applying for 20, 30, 40 jobs a day, operating at that speed? What do you think is going to happen? Right? Imagine if it was you versus another candidate. You're over here applying for 1 or 2 or 3 jobs a day or 5 jobs a day. The other person is swift. They're fast. They're applying for, 20, 30, 40 jobs a day. How many offers are they going to get compared to you? I mean, they're going to have more options. They're going to have more selections. They're going to have more opportunity. They're just going to be ahead of you. Simple as that. Okay. So speed and moving quickly and acting quick is going to make you more money. It's going to make you more successful oftentimes, and it's really going to serve you. So if you can train that part of your mind, if you can train, fast decision making, you're going to go so far. And one exercise that you can do to really train that muscle is next time you have to make a decision, and, you can start off with just small decisions. Like next time you have to make even just a small decision, create a rule for yourself that you're not going to take more than 60 seconds to make a decision. Okay. So even if you after a minute, you still don't know, you still are on the fence, choose something, force it, okay? So for example, next time you're at a restaurant, you're looking at the menu and you're trying to figure out what to pick something in less than 60 seconds, okay? Now, it's going to be hard. Now, it's so weird because we talk about it, this exercise, and it's like, okay, I'll do that. It's going to be challenging, but I can do that. I've actually met people who can't do that. They cannot do that. It's the weirdest thing ever, but I've met people who, we talk about this 60-second rule on decision making, and they can't do it. And it's so weird. It's like, how can you not, you can't even force yourself to do it. And it's crazy how it's such a mental anchor that they cannot do it. And it's mind boggling, but be someone, be that person, just give it a shot. From now on, every decision you have to make, whether it's like, should I go to the gym or should I stay or should I go do this? Don't let more than 60 seconds pass before you make a decision. So you're not thinking about it anymore. You've already decided. Okay, so doing that regularly will start to make you, turn you into a fast decision maker, someone who can move quickly and act quickly. And if you can't do that, then you don't have what it takes to be a leader, or you don't have what it takes to be, an entrepreneur. I mean, if you're constantly stalling on making decisions and making moves, how slow are you going to move? You're going to be super slow. You're going to be behind everyone, while everyone else is way ahead of you. You're going to be stuck in the back of the line with these small, minor matters, trying to figure out, oh, should I do this? Oh, I don't know which one's better. It's like, no, make a decision, right? Indecision has costed more American businesses and everything more harm than making the wrong decision has. It's better to make the wrong decision and then make it right later than to make no decision at all. So speed in decision making is one of the traits that make up a successful flipping ninja, a successful entrepreneur, a successful buyer and reseller. Speed. Move quickly.
This has been the Flipping Ninja Podcast. From the crew at theflippingninja.com, we believe that all Americans should be able to make their own money without having to rely on a job. If you're ready to ditch the 9-to-5, visit theflippingninja.com and join our Flipping Ninja Blueprint Masterclass, where you'll discover how to earn a reliable side income of $1,000 to $5,000 a month flipping things with just 5 to 10 hours a week. See, we're on a mission to help 100,000 people earn $1,000 a month on the side flipping things. Working professionals, students, parents, men, women, artists, techies, entrepreneurs, introverts, total newbies, you name it. Be a part of the revolution and blast out of living paycheck to paycheck once and for all at www.theflippingninja.com. Until next time, remember, you're just one flip away from freedom. Want to make a difference? If you enjoyed today's show, please pay it forward and head over to iTunes. Give us a rating and leave a review so others just like you can benefit and take charge of their financial future.